Welcome back to another episode of the Independent Podcast. We're here as always with Jon Kilmer, and our guest today is Kayvan, who is the head of A&R at Genius.com, manages multiple artists, produces, has an active Discord and Twitch community, and just prides himself on being a community builder in the music business. So welcome. We're so happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me, guys. It's nice to be here.
Yeah,
It's
good
great
to meet you too, man.
Yeah.
Would love to start just chatting about why you're so on fire, head over heels for the community side of the music business.
Yeah, I think, all right, it's a long story. So I was an artist first, right? I think that's how I met Tim as well. So shout out to Tim. But when I first started college, I went to Belmont in Nashville. I was an artist first. So I spent a lot of time doing a lot of the things that artists do now, even still, with doing PR for myself, emailing people, sending music out, trying to record, mix, write, do all that stuff. So now, after I've been in the industry for 10 years, did kind of a bunch of different various jobs, started managing and working with artists on that side of things. And then just through being a Genius, have kind of come into a lot of contact with artists who are just trying to figure out what to do. Because it's difficult, right? There's a lot that you have to do. There's a lot to figure out. And for the most part, there's not really anybody who's telling artists what they should do. Even on the technical level, I think so. But the intangible things, how to develop as an artist and how to improve the craft and how to build a network, how to interact with other artists or producers. And so I started streaming during the pandemic on Twitch. I started gaming first. We had a group of friends. We all kind of just didn't have that much work to do in the pandemic. So we were all right, let's try streaming, right?
What was your game of choice?
I was a Call of Duty player.
Call of Duty, COD, all right.
Absolutely.
Sweet, excellent.
In the toxic Warzone community. But I did it for a little bit, right? And it was very inconsistent. And I just realized this is not my audience really. I did one stream where I was listening to stuff from playlists that I make and playing FIFA and just talking to people about music. And I started to realize all right, there is a community here that already exists around what I do and what I have been doing that wants to talk about music. And this is what I do all the time. It's all I think about every day. On the management side is what I think about. On the production side is what I think about. So I just kind of shifted gears and was hey, let's bring artists together. Let's bring producers together. Let's foster collaboration and artist development in this stream. And that kind of spiraled into having the Discord and really just focusing on the community aspect. I do give a lot of credit to my friends over at the Digilog, which is a community in New York. They do a lot of mixes and meetups across the country where they bring artists together into studios. They'll bring industry vets in to kind of listen to music and give feedback. And so I kind of took cues from that as well and kind of getting into that community and being wait, there's a really cool opportunity here to just bring people together who care about the same things and kind of filter out some of the other shit that you get with the industry that's not that fun or not that cool.
Sure.
And so it kind of just built like that, now we're close to 5,000 members in the Discord. We've got pretty solid concurrent 40 to 60 viewers every stream. And a really solid stream of different artists and new artists coming from all over the globe. And we get to just talk about music. Everyone in the chat is really nice and respectful. It was very important to me that it was a safe space for artists to share music and not... I watched a lot of other streams where it was people would be in the chat and be oh, this is garbage. This is ass. This is trash. Boo.
Can't have those vibes.
Yeah.
No way.
It's not good vibes, right? And as a creative person as well myself, that shit hurts. You know what I mean? You put all this time and effort into something and some kid on the internet's no, fuck you. This is terrible. That sucks. So the goal is to really create and foster a community that cared about music discovery, and could talk about it and create a feedback loop for artists that was unbiased, because these people don't know each other and they're all over the world. They have different tastes, but they can objectively be you know what? This is really cool. We really like this aspect of it, but maybe this aspect could be better. And so that's kind of how it started, and it's evolved, and I really love what it is. I get to know these artists in the community on the distro side. Yeah. I've gotten assigned 3 artists from the community and then work with them on kind of a more meaningful level through Genius, which is also really cool. So it's just kind of naturally evolved, but it's just so cool to be around and talk to people who actually care about music the way that I care about music, as opposed to the interactions that I get sometimes with some label people. And publicists and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So it sounds like you're really, really passionate about the art, of creating music, and you, because for me, what I think my strong suit is I understand the business side.
Mm-hmm.
Like I really understand how to make a living making music as an independent artist, or just an artist in general, but as an independent artist, and I probably lack a lot in the areas that you are passionate about and that you're educated on, so yeah, that would be. I think it's gonna be a cool episode because we're coming from almost two different sides trying to meet at the same spot. Like
I feel like
anyway,
for me, man, like I started on the art side, right, and then kind of transitioned into the business side because like in my day job, like I fully work on the business side. Like it's really all I do is kind of like focus on that side of things, but it's just not as fun. I don't know.
Sure.
Like the creative part of it is what is so beautiful about music to me, and really art in general, right? Like I think it's this like undeniably human thing that like just can't be explained. Like where does it come from? Like how do we pluck these ideas out of nothing and out of our experience, and how do other people relate to those experiences when they maybe haven't even had the exact same one, but have had something similar or even comparable. And I think that's the thing that I feel like the business lacks more often than not is just the respect for what the art form is and what art is in general, right? Like it's this amazing thing that, everyone can do to an extent, but not everyone can do,
So here's a question. In a world where music is oversaturated, right? Mm-hmm. That's what we're living in. It's oversaturated. There's millions of songs uploaded every week. How do you feel an artist can separate themselves from that pack? And then do you think good music is enough?
Ooh, that's a tough one. The business person in me says no. Like the music alone is not enough. It's extremely important. Like I think the way I think about it as an A&R is if the music isn't there, then I don't really care if everything else is, which I know is probably pretty unpopular among most A&Rs. Like I don't think that's the way that a lot of people think about it. But for me, if the music isn't there first and foremost, I think everything else can be taught or learned. You know what I mean? Like I think content is extremely important, obviously, and engaging content. And what I enjoy personally is like really, really personal content, like something that shows me who an artist is. And that is what I look for. I'd rather know that the person that I work with or the person that I would like to work with is a good person and like someone that I can actually like vibe with, because otherwise it's just like the passion and the joy gets sucked out of what we do. Like what's the point in working on something that you don't like, just because maybe it's, maybe they got a bunch of followers or maybe they get a lot of views. Like I don't think that leads us to a great creative space.
Sure.
So I have a question. So you said you have generated and cultivated this giant community of artists, and amongst the thousands of artists, you picked 3 of them to work with more closely. What exactly did you look for, and what stuck out about those 3 artists where you said, like, these are the guys that I want to work more closely with?
There's a couple things, man. I think I'm starting to realize what it is that I look for, I think, as an A&R too. Like, it is music first. Like, they were people who are in the community for probably like 4 to 6 months before I even started having the conversation of like, hey, like maybe we can work together on something. So I got to listen to them develop over time, like give them notes, see how they took those notes, if they took those notes. Got to take a look at their socials, really dive in to see like, what are they doing? Are they making content? Do they understand the landscape enough for me to be able to rely on them to do their part of this as well? And then the third part was who's around them. What is their team like? If they're young, if they're scrappy, if they don't quite know everything yet, but they have the desire to learn and the ability to be able to identify the trends and things that are happening in the industry on their own, then can we work together more? Is there ways that I can help them? So for me, it's like 3 things, right? Like I love a young and hungry team that just has spent the time to learn and understand how the industry works and how to move around in it too. You know what I mean? Like there's definitely managers that I talk to who just have weird attitudes. And it's like, I can't trust those people to go into like a DSP meeting or to go into a press meeting and then not be like professional and not carry themselves in a proper way. And so there's a few things, but I like to observe an artist over a period of time and just see what they do on their own, because I think it gives me a good idea of what we can then do to amplify what they're doing, or what we can do to help them achieve their goals.
Amazing.
Yeah, I love that. So for me, I mean, I think I just think about things a little differently, and I only know a handful of artists like this, but I don't have management or PR or anything you can think of. I don't have it, and I've never felt like I needed it. Especially when it comes to management, I'm curious where you feel the most value a manager can bring, because you're a manager yourself.
Yeah.
And I'm ignorant to it because I've never had one, and I've just been closed off, and that's a personal preference. But I know they bring value. So where do you think that you bring the most value as a manager to an artist?
Well,